Jesus talking to this crowd is addressing two separate tendencies within Judaism. One is to take interpretation of the law, build on it, and establish that as new precept. And the other is to go a step beyond the law just to be sure that you didn't violate the law. Okay? Now, for those of you who have any Jewish friends, for those of you who have any Jewish friends who keep kosher, you know that most of them won't eat cheeseburgers. You do not eat mixed meat and dairy. That's not in the law. What's in the law is you shall not boil a kid in its mother's milk. We don't use the same kind of cows for milk that we use for beef. So the actual risk of violating the law is zero, because most hamburgers are not boiled in milk. Simple enough, right? Yet, in order to make sure that we never violate the law, we just don't mix meat and dairy. Now, of course, if you want to live that way, great, no problem. But there's no reason why other people couldn't choose to live the opposite, because they're not actively violating the law. They're just not taking the extra precaution. The Jewish law forbids you to strike a man more than 40 times. So if somebody's done something wrong, old school justice, right? If you were going to lash the guy, you could only lash him for 40 times. So in Jewish tradition, you only lash people 39 times, just to make sure that if you miscounted, you didn't hit him 41 times. By the way, Jesus was not lashed by Jews. He was lashed by Romans. They could have done it any number of times, right? So here you have this principle of taking what, if this is good, this is better. Combined with once you have an interpretation that works, now you build on that interpretation, build on that interpretation, build on that interpretation. When all of a sudden you get this series of laws that's so convoluted and so overreaching, it does way more disruption of life than what God originally intended. And y'all, we still do this to today. I'm going to hurt some people's feelings right now. Okay? I'm going to say something hard, okay? It does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter to the Lord whether you receive communion on your tongue or in your hands. Okay? Look, I know that was not the biggest thing in the world, but we do many such things. Where if this is good, this is better. No. The direction of the church is very specific, and it is critical. It is really, really important that we do not forbid what the church doesn't forbid, nor allow what the church forbids, or disallow what the church allows. It is incredibly critical that we do not reduce the experience of Catholicism and Christianity to what has worked for you. I understand that normal is a sliding scale, right? Okay? And what you have done for a long time, or what you've done forever, is normal to you, right? But that doesn't mean that it is the defining principles of the church. Okay? So, I don't know where to go from that. Except pay attention to yourself and don't forbid what the church doesn't forbid, and allow what the church allows. Because otherwise, you make the traditions of people. And look, our little personal customs are nowhere near as intensely kept and understood and cataloged and detailed as the Hebrew custom was, right? That's all they had. We have an extra, 2,000 years of tradition to build upon. And we have prophets and all that stuff just like they did, right? But the church is often wider than you think it is. And that's good news. Because what worked for you may be horribly disruptive to somebody else. The part of the church that speaks to you might be completely boring to somebody else. And if they forbid you that, you wouldn't be here.